It's Thomas Nelson, and it is available at in bookstores everywhere. And Gavin's been a believer for a number of years, and I've seen some of his work, since he became a Christian, and some of the films and movies that he's been in. And he joins us now, Gavin MacLeod. Thank you, Gavin. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning. I'm so happy to be with you. You know, it's so nice to listen to the theme of the love vote, because one day I had to go speak, and I said, I had to follow some incredible speakers, all Christian. And I said, oh, Lord, this is my first time. Give me something to say. And so I went out there, and I said, love, exciting, new, come aboard. He's expecting you.
Amen.
If you listen to the lyrics, it's all about Jesus. It's a whole new approach to that song. So I do that whenever I get to a group of believers, because it gave me, I said, wow, the Lord didn't tell me about that until how many years we were off the air. And it's really about, come aboard. Jesus will take care of you, you know. There's a new love waiting for you, a love
Amen.
that'll never let you down.
Amen.
So anyway, I just had to mention that since I heard the theme.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Tim here with Ed. We appreciate you being our guest. Are you in California today?
Yeah, I'm in sunny California in Rancho Mirage near Palm Springs.
Now, this new book out is called This Is Your Captain Speaking, subtitle My Fantastic Voyage Through Hollywood Faith and Life. Tell us, why did you at this point decide to? Is this your memoir? Is this what is this?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about my life.
Okay. Well, take us back. How did you get started in the, in acting and that kind of thing?
I don't know how much time we have, but I started it when I was 4 years old. When I was in the kindergarten, I was in my first play, and I heard that applause at the end. I had never heard that before in my life, and I said, gee, somebody likes me. I want to hear more of that. And so I was in every play. I was always on a stage for years and years and years. I finally won some awards when I got to high school, got a scholarship to college, upstate New York, at Ithaca College. Came out of there, went to New York City to try to break into the big time. But one thing that happened, I started to lose my hair in college. And when I got to New York to see agents, they said, there's no parts for you. There's no... what are we going to do?
They discriminate against bald people. It's wrong.
Exactly. And so I knew I had to get a hairpiece. And so I was working at Radio City Music Hall for $34 a week as an usher. And they finally promoted me. They liked me so much, they promoted me to the elevator for $37 a week, but I still didn't have enough to buy a hairpiece. But I had a roommate who I had met in college. He quit college in the second year, and he was making $600 in New York. I got a degree, and I was making $34 in New York. So anyway, he loaned me some money, and I saved enough, and I finally got a second-hand hairpiece. It had belonged to, it's a long story, it's all in the book. It had belonged to someone else, but that hairpiece got me my first Broadway show, which was with Shelley Winters and Ben Gazzara.
Wow.
And I eventually married a Rockette. And that was the beginning of everything, and I was on the road with that particular show, A Hat Full of Rain. I played California, and I was offered a movie when I got to California. And when I came back home, the tour was like 7 months. I told my wife, I said, I think there's some action for me on the West Coast.
So we're talking about you were excuse me for interrupting, but you did Broadway.
Oh yes,
for the first few years of your career.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a lot of off-Broadway plays. I went on the road with Androcles and the Lion, all to try to make some money, so I could get married and all. And we got married in the Actors Chapel in New York City. It was a beautiful, I was Catholic then, and we had a beautiful service, and it was quite wonderful.
So the takeaway lesson from this is if you are bald or balding, get a hairpiece, or the world is closed to you. So
well, it was for me.
Because you were on Broadway, off-Broadway, Shelley Winters and Ben Gazzara, who both went on to famous acting careers. You married a Rockette. Everything opened up to you, and it was all because Wow, that's incredible. That made such a difference.
When you look back and see what God has done all the years, besides the great forgiveness that's the most wonderful tool that I think he's given us, because he's forgiven us for so much, and then we have to learn to forgive ourselves. But, that's the message. If any young bald-headed man is listening to me now who wants to be an actor, get a second-hand hairpiece.
Well, I as a man who's much like you, Gavin, a little hair around the sides, but on top it's a gulf of flesh. I would just say we need some sensitivity training classes. To be, for us. Everybody else has got sensitivity classes for them. We need some for us.
Bald people have feelings too, don't they?
We do.
Yes, they do, and we can't hide them under hair. No. But, Jessica Tandy, that brilliant actress, Jessica Tandy, if you remember her.
Yes.
She used to say, as an actor, you'll take what is your liability, what you consider your liability, and it'll be your asset. So being bald was really, and having that hairpiece, I did I came to the West Coast, and that's where I met Ted Knight for the first time, who became my close friend, and I brought him to the Lord before he died.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's a great story. That's all in the book. And
well, we encourage people to get a copy of the book. It's called This Is Your Captain Speaking, and it's the memoir, the life story of Gavin MacLeod. Gavin is our guest this morning on today's issues. He was the captain from the Love Boat, and the book is published by Thomas Nelson. So you went to Hollywood, and at what point in your career, what shows did you do? Television shows, and then let's get to your conversion sometime while you were out there.
Yeah,
You're still out
I
there.
did. I did whatever they hired me for, and
the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, that was way after I had been there. That was 1970, so I arrived there in 1957. So I had a good 13 years.
What did you do? What kind of shows did you do?
I did all Desilu, all of their shows. I would do 2 shows in 5 days. I would in 2.5 days. I would play a character with my hair on. I would take that off and then put a mustache or put something else. I was the head of the gang. So I did like Jessica Tandy said. That baldness really was my major asset. And then I did all I did Untouchables. I did it's all over. I mean, all my life I've been doing television and then films. And then I finally, way in the middle 60s, I was doing Kelly's Heroes in Yugoslavia. If you've ever seen that movie, that was a fabulous movie. People still talk about that wherever I go.
Right.
But prior to that, after meeting Blake Edwards, I did Operation Petticoat with Cary Grant and Tony Curtis.
Oh yeah,
that was a big one. I did Bing Crosby. I did High Time with Bing Crosby. I did The Party with Peter Sellers. I did Compulsion, the movie with Orson Welles. I did I Want to Live with Susan Hayward. Oh, it goes on and on and on. If you go back now, you can see me in those things. But what happened was, after I returned after doing Kelly's Heroes in Yugoslavia, I was rehearsing Carousel, the musical, and my agent said, Mary Tyler Moore, I had a call. They're doing a pilot, and they're interested in you. I said, send me the scripts, and they sent me 2 scripts that were fabulous. But it had written on the outside for the part of Gavin for the part of Lou Grant.
Oh, so
I read that script, and Lou Grant was the boss.
Right.
And I thought the script was probably the best half hour I had ever read. But I didn't think I was right for Lou Grant. I didn't think I was right for Ted Baxter. But I thought I could do something with this character, Mary Slaughter, the news writer. And so I went in, had an audition, we did everything, and I had my hand on the door to go out. I said, you guys, I really like the part of Murray. Oh, you like? And so they had me read, and they were laughing. And as I left, I saw Ed Asner pacing back and forth, waiting to go in after me. And I went to rehearsal, and about 3 hours later, my agent comes over and waves for me to come out. We broke, and he said, they want you to do the Mary Tyler Moore pilot. I said, what do they want me to play? He said, I don't know. Is there a guy named Murray in that? I said, yeah, there is. And for 7 years we did. That's how the Mary Tyler Moore Show came about.
That was a great ensemble cast too.
It sure was.
For years, would walk around imitating Ted Knight. You know that Luke Mayor. You know that deep voice, and he was always a strutting peacock.
Every television station I went to, they had a Ted Baxter.
In real life.
Oh, that makes me laugh just thinking about it. Yeah.
They're always good-looking guy and all this, and they had a lot of Murrays around there. The guys writing the news, they brought the lunch in a brown bag. You know, they're trying to make ends meet, and they were doing all the work.
Gavin MacLeod is our guest. His book is called "This Is Your Captain Speaking," published by Thomas Nelson. And Gavin